Hello YouTube, welcome back to Living Life and Being More Independent with Tommy KM. I'm your host Tommy KM, here to talk about his following YouTube program and what I have been doing throughout the day and what I've been trying to do to try to live life for today. And I promised you guys that I would do a video like this, so here we go. So what I try to do Monday through Friday is I try to wake up, Mondays and Fridays, I try to wake up at 7:30 a.m. And I try to stay up at least till I go to the Excel Center, which you guys probably already know that I go to the Excel Center Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and that's pretty much my schedule until February 10th. Until I get a week off so the teachers can put their performance weekend, which I think is really nice about that. I think their radio system, they use a really neat radio system there, which I think is really smart. It is a Motorola radio system. Each like coach, each teacher, actually not each teacher, Doreen, our career and coach person has it. Plus there is like so much different stuff that I do throughout the day that keeps me busy. Like for instance, like right now, I'm currently listening to some radio traffic from our Bloomington system, which I think is really kind of nice. So they also got two different radio people that likes to use it sometimes, which I think is really neat sometimes. Like for instance, like number one, if you guys need help from like another teacher or like the director, which she's like one of my friends. So like over there at my work, which I think is really interesting, they got 4 walkie-talkies and they only use that on busy nights for managers, front house staff, which I think that is really smart because there are like some drunk people that can sometimes go in there. I'm not talking about anybody particular, I'm just talking about people that get a little drunk. So then after that, I learned that each people of the Bloomington Police Force all have, like for instance, 2 radios with them. One in their car and one outside on their person. If they drive to an area like a busy area, this is kind of true, they use several different radio programs, which I think, is really incredible, like on the entire thing. Like for instance, each police, like for instance, our police in our town go off county, which I think that right there is really interesting. So like for instance, that right there was our police dispatch out of my city that is near me because I live in a college town. So, also, it's like also they got like a couple of good radio people that uses like our radio sometimes. There's like different people that sketches out our radios, which is kind of good, which I think on their standpoint, which is really nice. Also, they also got, for instance, like number one, they got, for instance, like good radio people that uses it sometimes. Like, for instance, like the radio people that I'm talking about is like, for instance, like the owners. And if you guys are like a new business starting out, and I just would recommend you guys try out using like a new radio, which, for instance, like the new radios that I'm talking about is like, for instance, like number one, maybe like a store radio, or number two, like a busy radio, which is like, for instance, like different areas that they like to use. So they also got, for instance, like number one, when you guys do looking up like on their different radio fields, you guys got two different systems that you guys can listen to and like stay on, which is really kind of interesting, like on their standpoint. Which is also like, for instance, like different radio channels, which is really nice. They also got several different areas that they like to use different radio scanners, which is really important, like on the entire stuff that they use. Which this is really interesting, okay? So like sometimes they use 4 different radios at a single time, which is really interesting. So they also got, for instance, like number one, if you guys go down there to Spencer County, like where Holy World and Splash and Safari. So if you guys go down there to that area, Holy World got, for instance, like 4 different radio systems that they use. One system is called the radio system, which is really interesting. This radio system that which is really interesting, like the radio system that I'm talking about, is like the Holy World and Splash and Safari radio channel, which is really interesting that they changed their radios, which I thought they were going to keep their radios the same and let everybody else listen to them, which is a little bit different sometimes. Plus, like also like number one, like looking up like the different radio stuff, which is like from like all around similar. Like Middle Tennessee got their own radio system, and I'm like used to like a region radio system better than a statewide. So like, for instance, if you guys go over there to Gatlinburg Gatlinburg has their own radio system, which is 10 times better. It's called the Land Air Communication System. And sometimes their sheriff on there is like unencrypted. They have really good radio traffic sometimes. Plus they also have really different people that likes to look into it, which I think is really interesting. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. If you guys liked it, make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow for another video. Have a great day.